Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekend stream. Not a stream; it's a recording. My name is Akash. You can follow me on Twitter at Mangyako with a zero at the end. If you click this link on my bio, it'll take you to my YouTube channel. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content that I put out, and make sure to hit the click the bell icon as well because hopefully you don't miss out on the important updates. Right? For example, the Zilliqa trade was extremely important. We made some like 300% shorting the coin, and an update for this was put out basically a week before this actually took place, right? So yeah, today we're going to be doing a complete outlook on Bitcoin and what you can expect from it, both from a macro perspective and from a short-term perspective. I'll see if I can provide any setups that you can take over the weekend, right? So yeah, let's jump into what's happening, right? The 3-day chart has been extremely helpful for me. I've been looking at this particular ascending triangle, I think somewhere from around here or here, I'm not sure where. Uh, but this has been extremely helpful. If you look at the price action around the 203-day moving average, it shows that the first time around there was a massive amount of buying, which explains the long wicks to the bottom and an impulsive move that actually followed, right? The second time around, the buyers weren't as the opportunity didn't seem as enticing as before, which allowed the Bitcoin to retest the 203-day moving average. And the impulsive move that actually originated from this particular retest pushed higher than the previous two swing highs and even pierced to the yearly open, right? But again, this wasn't a permanent thing. This was a temporary thing, which eventually reversed, and then the price came down crashing. Right when this was crashing down here, if you checked out my previous videos, I've mentioned that I wasn't a great fan of what was happening here, mainly because it kind of looked like the buyers are there, but they're kind of having to face a lot of struggle with competing with the sellers, and eventually the sellers kind of took over, which kind of explains why you can see these massive wicks on the top, right? And that's what's happened. And the FOMC meeting was extremely, like, it was good, right? I was in a long position that I provided to you guys, and then it kind of felt jittery after the first FOMC meeting, which kind of led me to close the position. Since then, the price has been crashing. It breached the lower trend line of this ascending parallel channel, and now we're on kind of retesting this extremely significant support level here at 34,752. Right, I've had these two levels here for quite some time. If you watched my analysis videos on Bitcoin for the past few days, probably even weeks, I think I've been talking about 52K and 34,752 as a make or break level for Bitcoin, right? And if we get a weekly close below 34,752, I think there's a really good chance price could crash down, continue crashing down, and retest this level here, which is 29,100. And it's mainly important because of the way the price kind of formed a base in May and July 2021 and the rally that originated from it, right? There is a lot of sell-off liquidity present above these equal lows. So there is a good chance that uh, it could be whales, it could be market makers, I'm not sure who, but there could be smart money that wants to push the price below this level and collect the sell stops at market price and then push the price higher, right? So this I've been talking about this particular scenario to play out for quite sometimes, even before the ascending channel was like in play, right? So that is kind of happening now, and it all depends upon how Bitcoin kind of performs the next week relative to this level here at 34,752. So basically, if we lose a 35K, I'm just running it up. If we lose a 35K support level, I think there's a really good chance price could come down lower. And as you can see here, the MicroStrategy average buying price is roughly hovering around $30,200, and the DCA price is 29,438. So basically, any move below 29,000 would be extremely bad for MicroStrategy, right? I mean, they have a lot of under collateralized Bitcoin that they could probably use to prevent a margin call uh, for the loan, for roughly the $250 million loan that I've taken from Silvergate. But if the price decides to move lower, they could be in serious trouble. I mean, this could be the first whale investment that kind of goes pop, gets liquidated. So again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. For that to happen, the price has to move extremely lower. And I remember reading this article where the CFO of MicroStrategy kind of mentioned that if the price has if they should get a margin call from Silvergate, the price should be around 21K something, and that was when the Bitcoin price was around $42,000. So yeah, I think MicroStrategy is good even if the price goes down to 20K. Any like serious concerns I think is going to happen when the price moves below that, right? So this particular outlook is the first one that I'm looking at for quite some time, and like a lot of CT has been looking at. So yeah, this is the first outlook, right? And the second outlook that I've been talking about is this bearish continuation pattern, right? This is a bear flag, and this is the flagpole. This is the flag, and when the price breaks down, it eventually continues the trend that was formed before the flag. Basically, this trend is going to continue lower. If you look at the measurement rules on different sites, like you get it kind of puts Bitcoin roughly around 30K if from a conservative outlook. If you look at it from pattern side, it puts it somewhere around here. And if you think I have that, hold up. Yep, there it is. Right, so let me just take these off. Right, so this is my measurement from like the normal measurement, right? Like you measure the flagpole and then you add it to the breakout point. It gives you a 52% projection, which puts Bitcoin at roughly $18,000. It kind of aligns with the 2017 top for Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm not saying this outlook could happen, but if you like, we're going to be taking a look at on-chain metrics as well. So there is, I think, one particular on-chain metric which kind of supports a capitulation move. Although I'm not saying it's going to go down to 30K or 18K, that sort of level, but that particular indicator kind of predicts that there should be a capitulation move based on what's happened in the history so far. Right. So let's move on to the on-chain metrics. Right, so I follow a couple of people and a couple of newsletters which kind of like help me form my conclusions, my bias on Bitcoin, like basically a long-term outlook. I don't usually look at a lot of other traders for short-term outlooks. I just do that by myself, because if you do that, it's going to be extremely confusing. There's going to be multiple opinions, multiple views. So for the long-term outlook, we're going to be taking a look at Glassnode and this particular chart that kind of interests me quite a bit. Right, so basically the pink line is the average buy. Hold up, I'm a little confused. Yep, so basically the pink line is the average purchase price of the coins of the long-term holders, and the blue line is the average purchase price. So basically what this particular article says, that the purchase price is moving extremely close to where the current spot price of Bitcoin, which indicates that these investors, which are basically long-term holders and kind of like the core, like the whales that kind of support and like buy Bitcoin when it's actually crashing. So these investors are kind of selling, which and they're not selling at a profit, they're selling at a break even, which kind of indicates that these whales are kind of panicking, and this is a capitulation move. It's happening right now, right? And the fact that this is happening for a long-term holders is extremely concerning, because long-term holders are like the ones that kind of wait for the retail to capitulate and then they buy it at a significant discount, right? That's what happened. That's kind of what whales did. Some of the whales did when the price crashed during March 2020. Like they deployed massive funds. As you can see here, this particular uptrend that you see here is basically that. So yeah, now that the long-term holders are capitulating, it's really concerning. That's the first thing, right? And kind of not so concerning is that these long-term holders were the people that purchased Bitcoin during the 2021 and 2022 cycle. So might not be the strongest hands, regardless, they're still long-term holders. So this is a chart that you kind of have to keep your eye on. The next one that I want to talk about is this Bitcoin 2-year moving average multiplier by Philip Swift, an amazing guy. So basically what you see here is that the green line is the 2-year moving average, and as you can see here, every single time the price has been in a bear market, there is a significant move below that level. Let's start from 2012, 2011, right? The price after a bull market here in 2010, 2011, the price crashed below this green line. Same thing happened here after the 2013 bull run. Yep, in 2015, 2016, the price moved extremely below this level here and then made an extended bull run. And this was the 2017 peak. And then we had the hash rate wars between, I don't know, Roger Ver and Bitcoin Maximalists, if I'm not, I think it was between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. That's when the hash rate wars took place, which kind of pushed Bitcoin from 6K to 3,100, if I'm not wrong. And then we had this mini bull run in 2019, which kind of got a lot of people's hopes up. And then we had another capitulation move here. This particular move was caused by, not caused by, but caused on the launch day of BACT, which was November 25th, 2019, or September 25th, I'm not sure. It was the 25th in 2019, basically, right? And then like the price briefly moved below that and then tried to set an uptrend. Like this was extremely uh, confusing because the price set a higher high after like a series of downtrend. So this kind of caught a lot of people off guard when the COVID crash took place, right? It also moved the price below the green line, and now we are currently approaching the same line again. So which kind of makes me think now that we are already here, right? We've breached a significant pattern here, which is also a bearish from a long-term outlook, and now we're currently kind of grappling with this support level here, which is a make or break level for Bitcoin. And add the liquidity pool to that and the MicroStrategy average buying price. There's a lot of compelling data which kind of predicts or like expects Bitcoin to go lower. And on top of that, you have the two-year moving average multiple chart here, which can also kind of basically throughout the history of Bitcoin kind of shows how the price has moved below this, right? So yeah, it's this is another kind of on-chain metric that makes you believe that a capitulation wick should happen, but the if it is actually going to happen now or if it's going to happen a couple of months from now after like a minor uptrend is not sure, right? I would kind of hope it, not hope, I kind of expect it to happen later rather than now, because all these scenarios, right? The hash rate wars, the COVID crash, like nobody was expecting that crash to happen. Like there were a couple of people that were expecting that, and now that everybody's expecting that, I honestly, like even if it does happen, I don't think we're gonna stay there for a very long time. But honestly, I don't expect it happens now. I think it should happen after we move like above 53K, where everybody thinks that oh my god, we're on a bull run, and then the price finally crashes because of some major financial event. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, right, guys? But I just have to mention, like, to sum all of this up before I go on a stupid rant, is that there is a good chance for price to capitulate. There are multiple reasons for price to capitulate. So be on the lookout. Right. So the if you I love this guy Philip Swift. The first time I kind of found his work was through the golden ratio multiplier, and when I read that, I was like fucking mind blown. Right. So another really good indicator that this guy has put out is the pi cycle top indicator, and this indicator has been on point, like in predicting the cycle tops for Bitcoin. And again, this indicator was also like mind blowing when I first actually encountered it, and that was way back in 2019 or something, right? So 2019, 2020, somewhere in these years, right? And the recent, when everybody was euphoric, there was a really good chance for the price to. This was basically another cycle top was formed on April 11th. So basically, let me just quickly give you an outlook on what this indicator does. It is basically two moving averages, which is the 111-day moving average and the 350-day moving average. There's a lot of math behind it. So basically, what you have to understand is very quickly, if the green line moves above the orange line, it's a cycle top, and that happened very briefly here in April, on April 11th, and that formed a cycle top. Hold on, let me just confirm if I'm reading the numbers right. Right, if the 111-day crosses above the 350-day, basically the 111. So basically, if the orange line crosses above the green line, it's a cycle top. And we've had a cycle top in April 11th. And yes, the price did set some sort of like another all-time high here at 69K, like a month later. But I still believe this indicator is accurate, and that we have been in a bear market since then. So yeah, and a couple of other people that I kind of closely follow is Conor Yerox, Yoda, whatever you want to call him. This guy is really good, and again, he also kind of gives out the same vibe that I'm kind of expecting right now, which is Like he says in this particular chart, he says that the monthly closed below the 21 EMA, and every time it happened, you saw the last time it happened, there was a cold crash, and then the 6K floor break, which I just explained, was the 2018 hash rate wars and the 2014 bear market. I honestly know nothing about this, so yeah. So he's also expecting a crash, and his thesis is basically the monthly 21 and the monthly candlestick closing below the 21 EMA, right? But what's really important is that he also expresses his concern, like how everyone thought 6K would hold in 2018, and now everybody is expecting a capitulation sub 28K. So yeah, this is something really interesting. Like, so I want to actually see how everything kind of unfolds, right? Another guy that I follow closely for a long-term Bitcoin outlook, macro outlook, is TechDev, right? So this guy is basically bullish, and he says that we're currently around here, and there is going to be an up move, and he's kind of bullish, right? But he also like places a disclaimer here, which says that the wave does not imply target, and that the reason why wave 3 to 4 like is kind of extended, like 2 to 3, is because of the quantitative easing that's been happening with the Fed after the COVID crash and that kind of stuff. So basically, the takeaway is that TechDev is bullish, uh, Coiner is bearish, as am I, and yeah. But then again, like if you look at TechDev and his perspective, is basically he's talking from a 1 week perspective, and although we are at 4 right now, like yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly kind of torn apart right now. Like yes, I am bearish on Bitcoin. I am expecting a capitulation wick to the downside, obviously, but I'm not sure if it's actually going to happen now. So that is basically my outlook, guys. Now, I know I haven't given you any firm uh, conclusion as to what I'm expecting. Like there's no, again, with the technical analysis, things tend to change quite a bit, right? So if I were to sum it up, I think I would say I am bearish. And for now, I think everything depends on how price reacts to 34,752. I believe there's going to be a few days, probably even weeks, where we spend between the 35K level here and the ascending channels up lower trend line. So that is pretty much it from a macro perspective. So let me just quickly move over to a lower time frame perspective and explain and see if there's any setups, right? So yeah, let's I think it was in the latest Bitcoin update video where I kind of explained what I'm expecting uh, from a lower time frame perspective. Is it here? Yeah, so I kind of explained that I'm expecting a range to form, and I'm going to trade the range, right? So this is basically what I expected, and what's happening right now is kind of similar, but there was not a lot of upside movement for Bitcoin. So this is the small range, which extends from 35.5K to 36.6K. And we've gotten a sweep of the low not once, but twice. And this is a major sweep to the downside, right? So I am kind of bullish now, and I wouldn't mind opening up a small, extremely small, tiny position long, and probably get like a retest of the low here. Right, so this is what I'm expecting from Bitcoin over the coming, at least for the next day or two. This is what I'm expecting. But once we get a sweep above the swing low here, I think kind of on a base here, I think that it'll be a really good time to long again here. And then you have a lot of room to move to the upside, at least up to 38K is what I'm expecting, right? But then again, you have another supporting aspect for this is this fair value gap that kind of extends all the way up to this point here. 37.3K to 39.5K is a fair value gap. So there's a good chance price is going to fill that up. But once for that to happen, I'm expecting the price to recover above this range low, which is at 35,532. So yep, guys, that is pretty much it for Bitcoin. I know this has kind of been a little different than the videos that I usually do. So I hope you guys enjoy the analysis, the session, what we did here. If you have any feedbacks or suggestions, please make sure to comment them below, or you can just give me a follow on Twitter and like tweet out your suggestions, feedbacks, comments, whatever you have, right? And again, if you enjoy this, right, please make sure to the subscribe button and click on the bell icon. Peace.